Good evening, everybody. This is Hobby Corner. Back on Pallegney. And it is a very rainy afternoon. Um, yeah, it wasn't like that when I left the game this morning. It's a good thing I got a do-rag. Keep the water from getting in my face, you know. Could probably switch to a cowboy hat or something, but yeah. So, anyway, yeah, welcome to the new place. We got this 2 streams ago. Beautiful little abode. I just got back in the game. And, yeah, we are... Oh, got a tipped over wheelbarrow. Oh, yeah, we're gonna have to clean that trash up sometime. Yeah. Nice little place here. Wish you could go in some of these buildings, but yeah. What do we got here? We have some storage, probably for some bales. Oh, what do we got here? We have our first 400 liters of goat milk. Daza! Boom, boom, Daza. Welcome in. Yes, we do have our goats. We got the goats. And, yeah, they're just chilling. So we're going to do a little fast travel here back to the farm. Get in the truck here. Really can't do much with the rain going on, but a little something something for those that missed it yesterday. We have a quaint little shed here. What's going on with this shed? Let's conserve on diesel fuel. We have our water buffalo finally. Yes, sir. We got 16 of them in here. This shed holds 60 altogether. We do have some food in here for them. We are sitting all right. I just got to start bringing some stuff over as we go along. And speaking of that, I want to do a little test. So we're going to go get all of our food that we can. I've got to close up my tip sides here real quick. That it is, Daza, that it is. Let's start bringing the sides up. And we'll do that. Because I do need to continue to bring some food over for these guys. I am making TMR with our fermenting silo. We do have, 14,000, nice. So we get another load going on. Oh, darn it. I was going to put a couple of additional mods into the system so that I could attempt to get the next, I mean, it's a small ticket item, you know, $10,000. But it's one that'll help me do this job. So what happens is, while we're in here, if we do an unload here, you see the headache rack contacts the roof, and we can't really unload everything. See, it kind of squishes the truck down. I mean, we did get everything, so we can definitely unload like that. set up Rumble as well. I have not heard of that. So I'll look into that. Let me write this down, or actually I'll just take a picture of it with my phone. That way I have a documentation of what's going on with it. Can look it up when I have time. Alright, that's documented. Yeah, back to the truck. Yeah, doing that little dump definitely helped. I didn't have to get glitched into the floor, which was kind of bad. And then, so I'm going to try something different here. Tip side back. If I were to do left or right, that's what I want right there. Let's give that a shot. We'll give them another 3,500 liters or whatever it is. Like I said, I do need to feed these guys so they can last the next couple of days. Okay, let's go ahead and get some more in. Yep, 3,500 at a time. Ah, okay. I see. Daza, since you're here, are you getting any weird feedback from the game? Normally I'm playing with headphones when I stream, and I did not put those on tonight. I'm just listening through my desktop speakers. So does it sound weird? Sound good? Let me know, please. Okay, let's tip it. Let's see what happens on the... Oh, yep. Oh, that's a life changer right there. It doesn't interfere with the roof. Oh yeah, we're in business here. We can feed our water buffalo. I am liking this setup more and more. And then I'm just going to step on out here. Did a little bit of landscaping. Got some short grass going on. Got some trees and bushes set up back behind. You know, kind of fill in the voided area. I'll leave that bare spot. Our cobblestone has been overrun a little bit. The last person that had this property did not do proper weeding care, is how I'm playing with it. So the grass is starting to come up through the cobblestone. But yeah, I am absolutely digging this this barn more and more. This little setup I got here for my water buffalo. No, all good at moment. I'll stay if you want. No, you can do whatever you want. I just wanted to make sure that the speaker audio wasn't interfering with the microphone. Cool. I don't have to worry about a trailer, but that little milk icon there, I do need to worry about trying to find a trailer for hauling that. Oh wait, yeah, I do, because this comes out in tanker style. The goats comes out in canisters. So yeah, so we got that going for us. Also, we're going to do some more sightseeing because I did a little something this morning. In last night's stream, I said I wasn't going to do it, but as you can see, I got this stone picking contract selected. We are at 97%, which means I have not completed that. But we're going to, we got this guy. This is my plow. Not too far away from the farm. And just on the other side of the trees is my location. Now we're going to bring this bad boy home. I set up a plowing contract for him to do last night, and it got finished this morning. Bring our toys back home. just going to go ahead and park you right here by the weeder and the cedar. And then, we got this weird trailer here with a load of rock in it. I've got this plow here, which just got done with that field back there. So we're going to go ahead and collect on these 2 plowing contracts, I believe. I'm just going to make sure that no more plowing is up. Nope, should be good. And then we got this hoeing contract, which is just south of us as well. We're going to go ahead and collect on that one. And this $12,650 stone picking. And here it is. Let's go ahead and finish it off. We got just this tiny corner left. I was going to save it until today, or tonight, I should say. Like I said, I started this one this morning and got to this point. I did it all off stream. Didn't want to bore everybody with, spinning circles for an hour in a field collecting rocks. And the little notification saying that it's for contract work. Oh, this John Deere is struggling. And I hit the wrong button. This is the 145, which is the 190 horsepower option. 192 to be exact. Yeah, it's a good tractor, but going up the hill with in the rain, it just does not want to work out too well. But we're done, so we don't have to worry about it no more. Go ahead and put these guys into the trailer. We got plenty of room. Alright. And I pointed the JCB. It's kinda uphill, but we just gotta make a sharp right and we're heading down. So it's not gonna be so bad. If you stage your equipment as you're doing unloads and things like that, makes life a little easier. Let's get back into the normal driving lane, out of the weather. So this morning, as I was working my 2 plowing contracts and doing my stone picking, I ended up running out of money. And of course, it was easy to run out of money when you only had about $2,000 left after buying water buffalo and the shed for them. So I ended up having to sell 3,000 liters worth of wood beams just to get up to about $7,000-8,000. And wood beams is actually at the top of the market right now, so that was some darn good cash that we brought in. Watching, scroll, hello, still Scroft, hello, still got you on too. Nice. I've done that before where I got double streams going. I just wish I had more monitors to be able to have YouTube videos playing on one of them. Support other streamers as they're doing their things. And we got to take these stones over to the landscaper, which is just around the corner. We don't have to. I could have just, collected the contract, but with 10,000 liters of stone here, we're looking at, you know, at least 600 bucks extra cash. So we'll go ahead and dump that bad boy. I'm guessing probably closer to 1,000. Nope, 533. So about 600. 500, 600. Yeah. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. You know, potato, whatever you want to say for that. We're just going to go ahead and do a little disconnect right there. I don't need that trailer no more. And we're going to get all of our equipment back home. Take out a couple of pedestrians on the way. And in the rain. Lovely, lovely rain. All of my harvesting is done except my, grass coming up here in September, but, grass is always going to do stuff. So we're just going to go ahead and collect on this contract and double check. I'm looking for grain harvesting, not vegetable. I do not want to do spraying. Right now I do not want to do some wood transport. So we're back up to 30K, which is an amazing feeling. And I did fill up my, my sawmills this morning as well off stream. This guy still bugs me because he won't take any more. And I'm refusing to chop this log up. So that log's probably got, 5,000-6,000 liters in it. But I think for today, we're going to go on to the next month, or on to the next day. We'll get a Pepsi opened up for tonight. All right, so we got a couple of new items in the market. Let's go ahead and while we're thinking of it, let's feed Romeo. Romeo, wherefore art thou, our Romeo? Chasing bunny rabbits again. Maybe the occasional squirrel. Those pesky squirrels. We got some more product here. I'm not going to worry about that too much. I want to try to deal with this log. There we go. Got it. Okay, let's go ahead and pick this up, put it in the stack. Hey, more wood beams. Oh, I love the wood beams. Those are some big money makers right now. Turn these sideways, put them right against the planks. Alright, so that should be it for that guy. Oh, we got a short planks over here. I do like, keeping up on these productions. That way we don't run out of space. I mean, I've never been to the point where they're so full that they run out. However, this guy over here, if you're not careful, and we got a couple of openings, you can definitely fill up its interior holding capacity, which is only 15,000 liters. So, yeah. Let's go ahead and look at the market. We've got Ooh. This is not the mower we're looking for, but... Oh, that's a windrower. Never mind. This is not the item we're looking for. Definitely not the... I thought it was a different mower. I thought it was, this guy here. But we have this Cat 310 Pottinger So, or is it this one here, the Pro? But we need this NovaCat A10 Crossflow. We are looking for this bad boy to show up in the market. If this ever comes up in the market, our mowing days are going to become a breeze. But yeah, we cannot buy anything from the new items. We have to go through the used market. I mean, this thing is nice. I've seen other people use it. Yes, you can set it up to windrow left or right, which is, good for double stacking your windrows. But I'm just not a big fan of it. I mean, it works great. Don't get me wrong. I've seen guys use it. I'm just not a big particular fan of the style. This here, it only holds 3.4 meters, so about 3,400 liters. It's a small manure spreader. So, and I'm just doing some looking here since we got a little bit of time. That's going to be under here, manure spreaders. So let's hit the combination, and I need that type of truck for it. So that right there, that is, I mean, you're looking for one particular item to complete the job. That's definitely going to be a no-go. Not that I would really want a manure spreader right now, but I'm just saying that for our current production setup, that it's going to be a no-go. So for right now, let's go ahead and let's check the... Oh my gosh. We got the big boy. We've got the big boy. I mean, I wish for all intents and purposes that we were able to get this guy, or this guy. I mean, I don't have the horsepower for really any of them right now. But since that plowing contract came up, I could definitely use this plow on that big tractor and get her done. 26 meters would blow through that contract in no time flat. But let's go ahead and get this started. And I ain't got nothing better to do. There ain't nothing going on in the contracts that I want right now. And we got, okay, that's the last field on the left. Let's go ahead and get it knocked out. Oh, it's that guy right there. I've got to find a way in without getting run over. Because no matter how big I am, they will knock you for a loop. And let's go ahead and get in here. And the way this field's going to work is going to travel east and west for its steering assist. Let's just go ahead and crank this down to 1, maybe 2. We'll do 2. Okay. And we're going to start back on the eastern side. Let's go ahead and get her unfolded. And just to make sure Yeah, we want to start on the south end. Okay. So let's go ahead and flip that over. And because it's a plowing contract, I'm going to try to take as much of the head rows off as we go. And just go ahead and get her going. Smoke them if you got them. It's going to be a while. Some hail damage from one of the last storms. I think that was the storm that the tornado rolled through. That took out a good portion of a wheat field. Evening, Liz. How's it going? Good to have you here again. Speaking of storms, you got another stone picking. Nope, we're not doing that. Not even for 3,000. That last one was 12 grand. That's the only reason why I took it. Weather today is good until noon. So we're gonna try to blow through this as fast as we can. Go ahead and pick that up. Do a little rotation on the way. Well, I'm sorry you're not feeling well, Liz. Hope you get better soon. I know it's always bad when you're not feeling good and you want to do more things and hang out with people and such. We just picked up another plowing contract, as you saw. Just started it, and it's a beauty for a contract. It's a humdinger. It beats the ones I did this morning, or finished up this morning. I think the highest priced one was 14,000. So this is a much bigger field. And I'm going to try to do this contract with as little headland work as possible. So I'm going to try to run all the way through the end. I can do it on the eastern side. The western side is going to be a little tough with all the trees. But I think if we play our cards right and I can go through the entire space here, I should not have to do a single headland, which would make me happy. Come on, finish rotating. There we go. You're supposed to lower at the same time. There we go. And it's a nice thing that we don't have to worry about creating fields. So we can drive through other people's stuff and it won't disturb it. %, done on one down and back, so that's a good sign. So I think if we keep that up, just 10, maybe 11 complete circles, and we should have this field done lickety split. I mean, as lickety split as a plowing contract will go for as slow as you drive. But I mean, we're doing it smart this time, where we're not We got a little bit of uphill on each pass, but overall we're traveling downhill as we're heading to the road. So we'll just go ahead and go all the way through. Pick that up. Go ahead and rotate it. Is it rotating? No, it's not. Now it is. And since it's not my field, I don't have to worry about driving and leaving tracks in it, because they magically clean up as you go. Or once you complete the field, I should say. And we'll leave that time speed at 1. Also, I mean, we're in August 2nd, year 2. I'm going to go, just to keep you all informed, because right now we are on 3-day months. Kind of a little goal I set for myself was to slowly start cranking back the days that we're running our months. And I am thinking that as of right now, starting in September, I'm going to switch to 2-day months. We're going to slowly wean ourselves off of the 3-day month cycle. That way, more contracts show up during the day. We can get more AI workers doing things. I'm still waiting for sorghum contracts to show up. I know we do have August and September are the months for harvesting sorghum. Oh, it did go through that field. Okay. I didn't think it would. So, I guess, I mean, a little bit of plowing isn't going to hurt nothing. Surprised it did that, though. Now we'll go ahead and drop. Drop, darn you. Kind of sounds like not Chandler Bing, but Ross off of Friends. Pivot! Pivot! If you know that reference. Pivot! Now I'm aging myself. So yeah, two complete circles, and we were at, I didn't catch the percentage, so it's going to take more than that, I guess. We can't get lucky with 10 circles. Gosh darn it. I was hoping we could. Get the borrowed tractor stuck against a tree. At least I hope this isn't set up on create fields. Nope, doesn't look like it. Alright. This is circle number 3, or 3 down and backs. Find out what the percentage is when we get to the end. So it looks like 15 down and backs. So 30 treks altogether. Yep, the plow looks massive when you go and rent it and you go and buy it, but when you do only 5.6 meters as its width, 6 meters, that's where the grind really happens. So we'll continue to work on contracts. We gotta get these three out. These first three in the list were from yesterday. That Volvo bucket was yesterday morning, along with that Joker cultivator. That one showed up in the afternoon, which I don't need. I need a smaller version of that. I really need a different version for the header trailer. What I have right now is this guy here, and it works, but the headers don't lock onto it. So I need this one here, really. And if that were to come up in the market, then I'm definitely going to trade them out. Because for me, technically, you know, some people would call it flipping, but I'm just doing a trade straight across, one for another, since everything has been bought on the used market. I bought an item to have it, and I can't go back any further. That's fine. Go ahead and get straightened out here. So if you're trading an item of one to another, as long as it's kind of in the same category, you know, a header trailer for header trailer, you're just getting a smaller one or a bigger one, depending on what you got. That in my book is absolutely a-okay. Now, if I were to have bought the header trailer and then decided to sell it later on without replacing it, then that is not. For kind of the loose rules and guidelines that I have established for myself in this playthrough. I mean, it's just like the plow. If I were to get that lizard subsoiler or either one of the other two lizards, since I already own a plow and I'm replacing it, then yeah, I'll probably still keep it, the original plow, just so that I can have multiple plows for doing multiple contracts if I deem to continue to do a lot of contracts. And that's one of the reasons why I'm slowly weaning myself off of the days per month, is so that I can start limiting the amount of contracts I'm doing and start relying more on my own farm producing the money that I need to survive. Everybody has their own little rules and guidelines, but you know, If you want to play with 28 days per month and you do one contract a day, then so be it. If you want 1 day a month and do nothing but contracts all day long, then so be it. I'm trying to establish myself on this map as a good viable entity for doing things, and right now I have pretty much all of the equipment to do whatever I need, and it's going to be set up that way for my own farm. I will still lease myself out as needed, as I feel needed, like with all of these root vegetable contracts. I could take every single one of these, which I did on the first season, except that when it came to like these ones here for the parsnips and red beets and such, I was able, one of the contracts, which was one of these large fields, had the in my opinion the best harvester in the game, this Ropa Tiger 6. Yeah, the header is still a 6-meter header, so it's slow, but it's the capacity that you need, the 43,000 liters, that you're able to let the machine do its own thing and not have to worry about it. You can get AI set up on it. You can just let them go through and do whatever they need to do, and you can go do other things. And yeah, having that machine made doing the root vegetables the first year bearable. If I wouldn't have had that, I wouldn't have done any of the root vegetables, and I would not be where I'm currently at in the game money-wise. So I would have to rethink what I could do. I probably wouldn't have gotten the goats or the water buffalo as soon as I did. I mean, I'm in year 2 and I'm able to have both of those productions going. The next item that I need for doing those is a dairy or 2, because if you run 2 different productions of a milk product in a single dairy, then the productions are halved, so you're losing money in the long run, just because they slow down. So you would, in all reality, need 2 dairies to get 100% full output out of both items every month, so that way you're not overpowering them with your milk supplies. So yeah, kind of the next thing I need to save up money for is at least 1 dairy, so that I can get that going. I'll get a stockpile of milk going as well. It doesn't have to be right away. I can store the milk. That's going to be no big deal. As soon as I turn around, I'll see how much storage my barns can hold for milk. And my list of items right now that I need is, it's not that big. Oop, that's turn. I was grabbing my notepad pages for what I need to get. And let's go ahead and kind of serpentine this, and then we'll back up. Get that going. Okay, that took it all the way to the end. So I've got the cow pasture taken care of. A tedder, that was on the list. That was a medium to high priority. I don't need that anymore. Same with the bell wrapper. It's only because I'm running a fermenting silo, which can take grass and dry it, or take grass and turn it into silage. I don't need. I could buy a pellet fork anytime. Or a bell fork. That's no big deal. A rotary hoe, that's a low priority. A planter is the same. Forage wagon I don't need because I can bale. but that's on the list. A forage mixer, along with the fermenting silo, it can actually make TMR. So if I load the proper ingredients into it, the hay and grass, or the silage and hay, then I can make the basic TMR. If I put straw in there, I can increase it, to the next step. Not that it really changes anything as far as a percentage when it comes to your animals eating it. But you can use what you have available at your disposal, so to speak. So right now I'm using the three main components: the grass, hay, and straw, or silage, hay, and straw. Excuse me. Back this guy up. So that fermenting silo really changed the game for what I needed to buy as far as other equipment. So right now my equipment list is pretty small. One of the things that would really help me out is a large tractor. So I'm going to need probably 200,000 to get something like that. I mean, do I have to go this big? No. Would it be nice to go this big? Eh. A John Deere 8 series tractor, R8 series, 8RX, 8R. That size of tractor, the New Holland T8, the Massey Ferguson 435. There's a lot of viable options for large tractors, even a Valtra, even a Kloss, even a Fendt. The sky's the limit for large. But back to the goat productions. I can hold, right now we got 523 liters of milk. My guess is 10,000 liters that it can have in its holding capacity. And my water buffalo, I've just barely started producing milk, so probably the same 10,000 capacity there. So we can definitely store the milk for quite a few months before I really have to do anything with them. And our numbers are so small anyway that we are in no way pressed for time in having to get a dairy production going right away. But yeah, that and the dairy production or productions is definitely on the list. The amount of animals I have right now, I don't think I want to expand on them anymore. I think I'm going to be just peachy keen with the goats and the water buffalo. Doing those are definitely gonna supply me with lots of stuff. If we go to the productions here, and let's go back to owned. If we go to the available, we can buy the dairy production that's on the map. However, the storage in this dairy production is, I think it's like 5,000 liters or less per milk item. And I would really want to make the buffalo mozzarella and goat cheese. Those are the two that you can definitely make a lot of money on. And that's something that I have yet to make on any of my games, is those two items. I do have productions going, but the amount of work I've done into those so far my map, even though I'm about almost 5 years into it, I make most of my production on root vegetables and lumber. The cattle and the goats that I have and the sheep and the chickens, they're all just kind of gravy on top, so I don't ever really care about doing any of those too much. That did not start rotating. This production, yeah, I'm making a lot of money right now just on my my wood productions that I have going on. But like I said earlier, and I keep saying that um, as of right now, those sawmills that I got are only set up for just clearing that one lot out. And once the lot's cleared, then the sawmills are done. Unless for some strange reason I decide to buy another sawmill or another lot that has wood on it. Say, we come over here, say we buy 125 or 113, which, the ultimate goal is to buy all three of these. Now the sawmills that are there will get moved over to that area of land to clear those out. But once 112 is done and cleared out, then the sawmills are effectively done for the season, or until I buy something different. I'm not going to sit there and do lumber all around the map. I'm not doing the deadwood contracts to stay afloat, keep my lumber mills going. Even though I do have the lumberjack mod where I can harvest any tree I want on the map, there are 2 trees that I need to take care of, but those are I'm just going to trim them up a little bit, just so that when my AI workers are traveling down the main road, they don't get hung up on the 2 trees. But that's the only reason why I want to use the lumberjack mod outside of my own property, is just to do a little trimming on 2 trees. That, and I don't have a stump grinder, and those are few and far between, trying to get one of those to show up in the used sell page. You wouldn't be able to do anything on that land if I wouldn't have the lumberjack mod. It would be so full of stumps. And that might be one of those items where, because there's really only one dedicated one, and that's this guy. Yeah, this is a mod. But if I were to get something like this, if I put no capacity where it just grinds the stump, I can do Unreal, which puts $100,000 onto it. If I buy the capacity of 50,000 liters that it will hold before it spits out, if you don't have a trailer. I haven't played with this at all on any map, so I'm not sure how well it works. I've heard good things about it. I downloaded this just so I could have a chance at trying to get it on this map, just so that I can make wood chips. And then it's the same with the wood chippers. There's only two in the game. Trying to get that, that's nigh impossible. We'll never have the 330,000 minimum to buy that thing. This one's more realistic. You're looking at 55,000 ish. But even the stump grinders, there's only 3, and one of them goes on an excavator and one goes on the front or back of a tractor, and you need a large tractor to run it. This guy, you need either one of my 2 tractors can run it. So, oh wow, we run out of space here. Just jabbering away, just jabbering away. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why I put so many mods on here, and I know other people would do the same thing, just so that you have more of a chance of getting an item. Yeah, it may not be the one that you want. For instance, let's just go to we'll just take the plows. The base game, there's 5. I've got 3 mods. Luckily enough for me, a plow came up because a plow is such a highly used item on a map that you're always doing plowing contracts, that one did pop up. Same with the cultivators. There's 13 base games, I put a few more on so that I had more options. I have not seen any of these come up in the market, and that's the funny thing. Maybe this one? I've seen this one, but I don't want a 4 meter. I've got a 6 meter, and that's the bare minimum I'll go. Same with these disc cultivators. Same. I've got a lot more options of these ones, and like, these ones have come up a couple times. I have not seen that one. The one I did get was this one. So, the more options that you have when it comes to items, even if they are mods, when you're doing a used equipment only playthrough, in my opinion, I mean, this is the first time I've ever done anything like this. Having a wide variety of options to do something really opens up what shows up in the used section. Yeah, I mean, you're still devaluing anything because the amount of items you're putting in for mods. But, you know, you take, well, wrong screen. Take, for instance, you know, tractors. We got 5, 10, 15, 20, or 16 base game medium-sized tractors. So you're going to get a tractor showing up quite often. And that's just on the mediums. You know, the smalls, you got 5, 10, 15, 18 small tractors. You know, large, you got 5, 10, 15 large tractors. So a tractor showing up in the market is quite often. Now, I say that as a caveat where the tractors that I've seen show up, there was one additional outside of the 2 that I bought. So I've seen 3 altogether, and the third one was a large tractor. I want to say it was a John Deere. I cannot remember what it was. I have yet to see a small tractor show up. Yeah, I take that back. I think I have seen like this 300 Vario show up. I will not buy that guy. If it shows up in the market, I ain't buying it. The John Deere, great tractors. You know, I've used many of them. I've used, you know, International Harvester, Case. I've driven Massey. I mean, you name it, I've about driven it if it's a US-based version, you know, in the 80s and 90s. But that tractor itself, it's the power shift gearbox on it that's horrible. And for some reason, if you go to a power shift on a different tractor, like this guy, it's a power shift, if I remember right. Why do I keep going there? Because we're looking at this here. Yeah, it's a power shift, but it shifts a whole lot better. Yeah, a lot of it comes down to torque and engine size and things like that. The John Deere 3650 is a great starting tractor, but as soon as you can get away with it, you get away from it, people get away from it, and there's a reason. It's just bad. Let's go ahead and rotate that. Yeah, get stuck on a tire. I don't care. And look at that, we're at 50% done. I've just been jabbering away. So yeah, I mean, give yourself as many options as you can so that items show up in the market that you want, that you need. A rotary hoe for one. There's only one in the game. There's plenty of other weeders. I have one of the other weeders, so I can go through and I can, as soon as I plant my stuff, I can go through and weed it. I can just run the weeder through it real quick. I've got this guy right here, this Elmer's. That's the smallest one. You got the Super 750, 770, and 790. 790 takes 450 horsepower. The 750 takes 250. Well, my Fendt does 246. It's close enough. But at least I got something where I can weed my own crops. I mean, this guy is the quintessential best in the game when it comes to weeding. Same with rollers. I mean, this Vaderstad is the quintessential best roller because pretty much anything can run it. This Amazon, yeah, it's only 7.6 meters. It's about half the size of the Vaderstad. The Brandt, the Doblo. I mean, you're looking at, you need a high-end, medium / large tractor to run them properly. And I don't ever remember seeing any of those show up in the game yet either, in the used market. But for the most part, I've got every piece of equipment I need for doing the jobs. I just have to get creative. I was going to say unique, but creative, like taking food to my water buffalo. I needed a tipper trailer of some sort. Well, I don't have a tipper trailer, but getting creative again. Let's go. I've got, where's it at? It's here. I've got the lizard dragon. The bed, and that's one of the things that I could do. I could change it to an extended bed, which would definitely help me out, which I'm actually going to do. That's just a $4,000 extension on it. But you can tilt backwards, from the end, or you can tilt to the sides, and I found out tipping to the side works amazing in that cow barn for delivering feed. So that's going to be my preferred setup for feeding my cattle or my water buffalo. And putting this extension on there to where it can hold, 7,600 liters is definitely going to speed up feeding the water buffalo. Oh shit.
I have it now.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that's taken care of. So I can take my notepad and I can actually mark off a cattle barn, because I don't need those anymore. I'll just throw that page away. And weave our way between trees. Get stuck on the plow as we turn the corner. Do a little 3-wheel action. Hey kids, you ever want to go skateboarding? Well, here's your chance. Use a articulating tractor and hook a plow up to it, and you can ride the rail on 2 wheels. So yeah, a lot of this where you're doing, you just got to get creative, figure out creative solutions for the jobs that you got going on. Fermenting silos. That way, if you don't have a bale wrapper, you can ferment your grass in the silage, or grass in the hay if you don't have a tedder. You can make TMR. A fermenting silo does so much. And I originally started where I was thinking that I was going to make a silage for doing a BGA, but that has changed. A lot of it came down to I didn't have the money to buy fields. I bought trying not to buy the base game grass fields, especially when you don't have a mower. At the beginning, you just gotta, like I said, get creative. And I got a small mower, so I've got to do things small. I've got a large windrower, so I can windrow a lot of rows together to make it faster for baling and such. But yeah, just got to get creative on doing stuff. Borrow a lot of equipment for the contracts. If I would have had to have taken a bucket and a shovel and walked it over to the water buffalo barn to feed them daily, then by golly, I would do that, if I had to. I'm glad I don't have to now, since I figured out, like I said, the creative solution of using my lizard dragon pickup to side tip. Back to plowing. Almost 60% done. 3/5 of the way done with the field. Yeah, about 3/5. With this super big tractor, super big plow. If Cajun Savage was here, he'd be marveled at the size of the plow I got. Oohing and awing over, oh my gosh, Shane is plowing. Yeah. I'm not against plowing. It's just, it's just a time-consuming process. That's all. That's all I ever complain about for plows. That's why I prefer the subsoiler. Even a 6-meter subsoiler, I'd be done with the field by now if I had that. Even though a 6-meter requires 260 horsepower, if I remember correctly. Yep, 260. Yeah, I would still struggle it with my Fendt at 246. I'd get creative and install it on the front and run it backwards because it's got a hitch on it that goes. You can install it on the front or the back of a tractor. And if you do that, then the horsepower requirement goes down, and things like that. And if I did decide to run it on either the front or the back and in the backwards position, I'd still buy the largest one. Just because it makes the job so much faster if you got that tool. Just like, using the proper tool for the proper job, even in life, you're trying to cut, precision lines with a razor blade on a concrete surface. I mean, it works, yeah, but is it going to be well? No. Would you rather have a nice straight paper cutter, that's on a guide rail system? Would you rather have a pair of scissors for doing the intricate, curves and such, Buying the right tool for the job to help speed things up definitely helps. And not to say that this plow and this tractor aren't the right tools for the job, but they are the right tools for the job. It's just that there's other tools that make it faster. Take a wrench on a bolt. Yeah, you can get the job done with a wrench if it's the proper one, proper size. You can get the job done. But then they come out with the ratchet wrench. And then they come out with the impacts. Impacts may be overkill, but it's the right tool for the job, and it gets the job done super quick. So yeah. Getting creative, getting the right tool for the jobs. Finding the right mod that suits your play style. Just like the cow barn that I got for my water buffalo. The one I wanted to use had a pasture on it. Excuse me. But last night I found out, yeah, I could have used it with the pasture. But it did not fit how I envisioned a pasture to come off a building. It would have worked great, but I saw the design aesthetics of it, and I was like, because for the water buffalo to exit the building to go into the pasture, there was truly no opening for them to leave the building to get into the pasture. That's why I changed to just a closed building with all animals inside. Same buildings, same mod, but there was two different variations of it, one with a pasture, one without. So I decided to install the one without pasture, and therefore I was able to buy 16 head of water buffalo and do a little landscaping work around the building as well. I showed that off at the beginning of the stream. Put some trees on the back side, some brush, some shrubbery. The front side's clear. Need to work on the ditch that's there where I put it. There is a drainage ditch slash, small creek. It's a drainage ditch, and it's not kidded. It's what it is. But also one of the things now that I need to do outside of decorating that is to download another mod, which I totally forgot about doing today. I was in a rush getting online a little later than I wanted to get started tonight, which is alright. Life happens. Supper with the family type thing. And like I always say, family comes first. The game is always going to be there. It's a game. Treat it as such. The game, in my position, the game doesn't make me money. Not a single dime. For others, that's going to be different. And I get that. But then again, you're now treating the game as a work, so you have your work life, and then you have your home life. So treat the game as a game. And if you get on, 5-10 minutes later than you wanted to, okay. I mean, this is a work from home game. You can start and stop whenever you want, But back to not being able to download mods tonight. There's a couple. One, I need to look into, or was going to look into some different trailers to fix the problem I have with that lizard, or the problem I had with getting my feed over to the buffalo barn. But that's figured out. But there is another trailer that goes along with that truck that came out as a mod that I would like to download to see if I can get in the game. But there's also a bridge pack. So in instances like where you have the road running and then you got a little drainage ditch beside it and a bridge every so often crossing that drainage ditch, it'd be nice to have bridges set up to where you don't have to drive to one opening to get out, which, I mean, it's not that big of a deal. But I would also like to, expand on the width of bridges as well. Having a bridge just wide enough for a piece of implement to go across, yeah, that works. Would this tractor go across it? Yeah. Would I be happy about trying to get it across? No. Because it's such a long implement that you would really want a wider bridge, at least, 2 sections wide, in order to get across it safely. Otherwise, you're having to travel a long distance around to get to a section of bridge that will let you get across easy. So yeah, there's things like that. Some beautification mods out there, for landscaping and such. Even though I have the Paint and Terraform for free mod downloaded, when I was putting up my shrubs and my trees and such, I was still paying for those. So yeah, even though I put cobblestone down around the entire building, I still had to pay for the decorations I put around. So I'm still paying money for that, and I'm absolutely fine with that. And until Giants decides to fix the issue of charging you $0 for repair and repaint of your vehicles, it's Giants' fault. I'm gonna exploit the crap out of that and repair and repaint my vehicles as I see fit. even on this playthrough. I mean, right now it's part of the game, so if I'm not getting charged for it, I'm just like, hey, great, you know. All right, Daza, we will catch you later. Enjoy your sleep. Enjoy the rest of your evening. And I do appreciate you. Thank you again for coming in. I hope I'm not being a non-entertaining fool. I watch some streamers that they speak once every 5 minutes and or 10 minutes or not at all. And sometimes it's good. And sometimes it's not for me. I was on your stream earlier, Liz. But work got busy and I had to jump off. I was inundated with meetings and trying to get paperwork going for our maintenance schedules tonight and such, and it was a gigantic cluster and plans were being changed, and it was not fun. So I don't know how many times I had to take my headset off just to concentrate on getting stuff done. Yeah, I have thought about jumping on Twitch and streaming there as well. I know with Streamlabs, since I'm using that as my dedicated streaming device, I can stream to one platform or another on the free account. If I were to pay monthly or yearly for Streamlabs, then I could stream on multiple platforms at the same time. Right now, I'm not in the mood to pay anything for Streamlabs, so yeah, I could switch to. I can do either one. That and my graphic overlays and my all the fun things that you see all these streamers that have been doing this stuff for 5, 10, 15 years, and yeah, definitely not at their quality of streaming. You know, every 10 minutes and spam this such and such emoji for me to take a drink and spin in a chair and doing all these other things, and it's like, eh. Almost 3/4 of the way done. And I've been in this field for about an hour. I think I started off at like 8:15. Now, come on, you're supposed to lower yourself into the field. Not pivoting, but lowering. See what all people are saying in the discords. Yep, I see your message there, Dawes. Definitely take a look at that. I'm going to leave it as unread right now, so that way I can actually dedicate time to looking into that. Oh, just hang on. I've got to meet you guys for a second. Wife is calling me. Okay, folks, I'm going to have to step away for just a quick minute to deal with a technical issue that I have with the TV at home. So I'll be back. I am not going to set this up to run all the way through because I don't know if I'll be back in time to stop it at the end, but I will definitely be back. Give me about 2 minutes. All right. Alrighty, folks, I am back. Sorry about the delay. Where were we? Oh yeah, that's right, we're plowing. Got 25% left of this field. We will see how long it takes us to get this done. I'm hoping about another 10 or so minutes. Maybe 15. The joys of an unused field. Alright, let's go ahead and, we're just... Oh, one of the bucket disappeared, which is good. Trying to open this up some more for other... I just wanted to see what this... Yeah, the little guy, little 4-meter thing. While I'm here doing things, let's go ahead... Yeah, let's go ahead and put her on some 6-speed. Yeah, we got a hoeing contract that popped up. Not interested in the hoeing contract right now, although I could get AI started on that. Give us an extra, $1,500, $2,000. Yeah. Can't exactly turn like that. Make sure to take our plow and block the road. So this field has issues like, what is it, field 17 as well. And I've noticed it a couple times on this edge. If you go to, on this side of the map, not 17, 11. get to this corner and you get stray tree branches slash leaves that show up in your camera view. This field is doing the same thing. Now I don't want that line. I want the next one to the left. Thank you. So yeah, I think let's go ahead and veggie, 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 veggie. Don't want veggie. So we borrowed this thing, and this is where if I were to get AI to do this, this is kind of the downfall. I could get AI to finish this field out while I do some other things, although it can be kind of weird. They're going to get stuck on a lot of stuff. I think I just will finish it myself. This is where owning that piece of equipment would definitely help, because it's a $959 borrow, so I'm only making $1,000, you know, $1,200. But what I could do is, it's on field 71. Field 71. Crop types, it is growing, it looks like. It's in the first stage of growth. So could I get away with my weeder on that? I don't know. I doubt it. That would be a very... Well, no, take that back. We're going to try this. And if it doesn't work, then I'm not out any money. I would definitely not be out the borrow fees. We're going to do an experiment tonight, folks. And let's go ahead and drop that. We're going to, for giggles, we're going to take this because I believe that this field was just freshly planted. Field 71 here. What is in it? Not oats, it's canola. So this was a freshly planted field of canola. So we're going to, wrong thing. Yeah, they want to use a rotary hoe for that, and that's fine. That's for small and medium weeds. That's fine. We're going to accept the contract, and we're going to do an experiment. We do have, like I said, we have the one weeder that is for small weeds only. Since the field has just been freshly planted, we're going to see if that weeder will work on it. We're gonna creative solutions to the problems we have for not having the correct tool. We're gonna try it. I mean, if all else fails, we cancel the contract. We're not out any money since we didn't borrow any tool, any pieces of equipment. That's where I would love to have the rotary hoe. That would make life so much easier for that. But since we don't have it, and the field was freshly planted, I think we can get away with using our weeder. It's not what the owner of the field wanted, but as long as it's weeded, then there should be no issue. Okay, let's go ahead and back this up. Lower that. No, Wrong line. Select the correct line. Okay. So yeah, we'll do that as soon as we're done with this field. And we'll give it the good old college try. Oh, we're at 87%, which is very good. I like seeing that number. And since we're at 87%, I think I'm going to do the far two outer rows for the technical headland. I think. I don't know yet. Because we did set this up with only two headlands. Doing those two headlands could take us up to the full 100%. And if not, then we just do a couple more passes on the longer stretches. Get them finished off. And the nice thing is, if I do the two headlands, then I don't have to, on the first pass up against the edge of the field, I don't have to change the direction of my plow. And we're just going to go ahead and 90%. Go ahead and get locked in, and we'll go ahead and drop it. And it still just baffles me how, if you watch the AI worker and they're doing a pass over top of freshly plowed field, they don't slow down. But yet, we drive over that and we get bogged down to 4 to 5 miles an hour. But yet they can maintain their 7 plus. So if we do this all the way to the end and then do the one pass back right up against it, we might not have to do any more. Another one of these little test scenarios. We do have the big power pole up there. Just got to make sure to drive around it. Okay, do that. And then swing that back in. Get locked in. Technically, we're up against the edge of the field. See, we're at 93%, which is good. We get to the end, we may be at 95. Because I do know on a lot of these big plowing contracts, there is a large section that never gets done. We may have to make one additional pass back, which I would be alright with. I'm just trying to do the longest passes that I can to help speed things up, especially when you're doing corners. I'm going to go ahead and rotate the plow. Get locked in. As soon as that drops down, I know it's not the preferred method for some people, but this is my method. Everybody plays the game just a little bit different. We're at 95. Slowly watching that number tick up. And I know it wants me to make that funky jog. We're not going to make the funky jog, we're just going to go straight. And we'll get locked in on the left side. .96. A lot of it was also to save myself from turning in front of those trees. .97. Gonna have to do one more pass, which I am all right with. And then the nice thing is, since I have the plow set up in that direction, I am good to go for making this next pass back up against the down and backs. Because that just locked me in. .98. Come on, 2 more %. Should be able to get 99. Pop in. .99. $100. Okay, so I want the Fent for, and I just brought that back, and that's over here, right beside our weeder. And I have to do that, and gotta wait for it to unfold. Okay. So now, I'm doing a test of the emergency weeding system. This is only a test. Let's go ahead and zoom out. Yeah, it'd be nice to get a wider weeder, but you know, horsepower requirements was a little lacking at the moment when this popped up. I'm lucky enough that I'm able to, excuse me, use this tractor. Like I said, in all honesty, I think this is a 250 horsepower, maybe 260. This tractor will pull it. It's going to struggle going up the hills. Oh my gosh. Pepsi is kicking back a little bit today. It's going to struggle a little bit going up the hills, which is to be expected. Which I'm okay with. And I would really love for this field to show up for us to harvest. That's going to be a $7,000 to $10,000 field. Bingo, the field that we're taking is, like I said, freshly planted. So, let's go ahead and get this unfolded. And we're going to need to be about right there. Back up a little bit. And steering assist. I mean, do I need 2 headlands? I'll just set it up on 1. And we'll lock in, we'll drop her down, And let's watch. Yes. Yes, that worked out. Beautiful. Yeah, like I said, using this on a freshly plowed field should not have mattered versus a rotary hoe. Yeah, we're not doing the 11 miles an hour with the rotary hoe or 13 or whatever it is. But we are able to get $2,000 into our pocket, not spending any additional money. Yeah, a little bit of fuel. Speaking of which, I do need to get some fuel in this guy. But he's not empty yet. There's only 2 fuel locations. One's over there. Oh, and it's starting to rain. Yep, it is at that 1 o'clock time frame, or 11 o'clock. Alright, let's go ahead and, like I said, this is going to be a little struggle bus back. Going up the hill. I mean, hasn't slowed down too much. We're already at 28%, which is good. It's a good sign. Yeah, this weeder, it is a 7 mile per hour, so yeah, we're actually rocking it pretty good. Not gonna lie, 250 horsepower. Okay, yeah, we're 4 horsepower short. But this is either all the way uphill or all the way downhill. There's no rolling oscillations. There's really no flat land. So yeah, I'm quite pleased with the operation of this weeder. It's one of the reasons why I am glad I bought this when I did. I know other people talk about, they don't want to buy these ones because, they're so slow compared to the rotary hoe. But you know what? It came up in the market. I needed a weeder, and it's working. I can't do medium weeds with this, but you know what? On a bare field with freshly planted, no weeds showing, this is mwah, cannot complain with making $2,000. And the price of this thing was $46,000. So I think I got it on a very good deal. We'll take a look at, go up to the vehicles, and it's got 31 hours on it. So I picked it up for, I think, less than 20,000, or right around 20,000. So yeah, I cannot complain with this purchase right now. I've only used it a couple of times, but it has worked out each time I've used it. And now here we are slowing down, and I'm controlling the weather, making the rain stop, which is to be expected. I'm slipping on wet dirt, I'm causing ruts in the canola field that could possibly, if the conditions were actually supposed to work the way they are in real life, these areas would no longer be planted where my wheels are slipping. So yeah, cannot complain. We're making money on this job. We're not losing anything. We didn't have to pay any money out to get double back. Yeah, it was an initial cost of $20,000, and I've used it. This is the 3rd, maybe 4th time, and it's working as intended. And I think after I get done with this contract, we're going to go ahead and take this back home. In fact, we're going to go ahead and kick her up to another notch. We're going to see if we can get this rain to go away. Yeah, even kind of going downhill, we're not able to, our tires are slipping. We're definitely getting some tire slippage here. Locked in. Now, this is one of those feelings that are good when the recommended equipment is not in your arsenal for doing the job, but you have a piece of equipment that will work. I am happy. Just gotta get turned around, get off the drawbar. Slow this down a little bit, but you know, we're able to get through. And it would be nice if I think we'll do the technical headland. Kind of like we did on that plowing contract. You know, did the headland to get the majority of the work done. Yep, the wet ground is definitely slowing us down. But that's alright. That's alright, that's okay. Wet ground don't matter anyway. Don't need to worry about locking in. Up to 97%. 98. We are going to have to go back, because I would rather go back and catch the line than try to chase down headland mist areas. And done. And while we're over here, we're going to go ahead and take this road. And we're going to go get some fuel. There are only 2 fuel locations on the entire map. I do not feel like buying a fuel depot for my farm yet. Especially when I'm not even set up and I have a mobile toolbox. One of the things that could come up that would be nice to have, let's go all the way down to the end, would be this fuel trailer here. That would be nice to have. There's a couple other little things that, you know, mobile fueling stations. Most of them are mods. But yeah. We'll just go back over to a fuel point, which is over by the entrance to a grass field, which is down here at the corner. Get some diesel, like good old ruby red diesel. You know, the low sulfur kind, the stuff that we don't have to pay taxes on. Let's go ahead and refuel this bad boy, because our Fendt is one of our, we're using this thing constantly. So we just will keep her topped off, and whatever piece of equipment is broken, we can take it back to the farm and we can fuel it up or repair it there. Excuse me. All right. I don't think there was any tornadoes scheduled or inclement weather, hail, scheduled for the month of August here. Yep, we just got rain, we got sun, we got clouds, even into September and October. Oh no, we crashed. Houston, we have a problem. That wedged me in there good. So, oh my gosh, let's go ahead and just drop the front weight. Let's go ahead and now we'll pick it up. Crisis solved without using super strength. Yeah, go ahead and pass me, car. I mean, whatever. It's your prerogative. The red car is out to get me today. So's the white ones. Blue ones are yet to be determined. And it's that tree that we just passed and this one right here that I gotta come back and do a little... See? They'll get you. Those trees will get you. I missed it with the tractor, but not with the weeder. Okay, get in the middle of the road to cross that hump. Crosswalk. Let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit. Take out a pedestrian or two. So yeah, it's almost 1 p.m. Get this bad boy home. Past the lovely moo cow buffaloes. I mean, they're technically cows, but they're water buffalo. They're kind of in the same genre, species. Let's go ahead and bring this over yonder. We gotta empty that out sometime today. Which might be a good job to do right now. Because ain't nobody lighting any fires right now. Come on. Oh. Wrong implement. Got to drop the back one, not the front one. Okay, let's go ahead and take care of our firewood. And I just got to remember to not go all the way forward to get into the cell point for the firewood. And we will we can leave that one in there, I think. Doesn't look like anything else is coming back because we're strapped in. Don't guts to worry. And if I'm not careful, my storage facility is going to get full really quick. But I'm trying to hold off until December for the best prices. Let's get this guy over here, right next to the bednar, which next month we will be planting some wheat or barley. I'm not sure what we're going to plant. Let's go ahead. Oh, that was our trailer. Let's go ahead and stay locked into here. And we'll check the contracts. Got a cultivating contract. Very nice. Very nice. We will do that one. Stone picking, we're not worried about. Deadwood, wood transports, we're not worried about. Spraying, we will never do anymore because they get you in the spraying contracts. I lost count how many times I would start a spraying contract only to find out that it's not you're in the job for a minute and the sprayer's working and you're not collecting percentage. So those will never be done anywhere. I don't care who you are or what you say, you cannot make me do them anymore. But we will accept. We have our own cultivator. So we will accept this. Because that cultivator is, we'll just go up and take a quick look at it. You gotta go up a little bit more. I mean, it's this guy right here, it's a 5.6 meter. We've got a 6. So we've got something that'll do it just fine. And yeah, we'll just go ahead and collect that right now. We'll go ahead and collect on this hoeing contract and this plowing contract. Oh, I can't believe I stopped the tractor. That's right, because we were doing stuff. Okay, so let's go ahead and hook up to our cultivator. Yes, it is a disc harrow. I have one of these on my main game, and it works wonderful. I absolutely love it. Just one of the things I want to check here. We'll go up to our animals. We've got, 9,000 liters of TMR in there. So Oh my gosh, we could hold a lot of liters of TMR. We're talking 50,000 liters. Okay. I mean, that's fine by me. And I know my animals are not going to eat that much because I've only got 16 right now. So we'll get this contract done. No! I wanted cruise control set, you dummy. Come on, little white car, get out of my way. Turn left. I know you want to turn left. Okay, go straight then. So we are up to $48,000, which is good. The bank account's coming back up. And I'm sitting at a good amount in firewood. Not enough right now for me to take it because I'd take a gigantic loss. We're basically selling it. If we sold it today, we're selling it at the bottom of the market. Oh, saw the car. A second too late. I think the rain is actually slowing down, so that's a good sign. Let's go ahead and we'll bump the speed back down to 5. Coming up to the field on the right. Let's go ahead and extend. Not that field. The sorghum field that we harvested earlier in yesterday's stream we finished off. So let's go ahead and drop that. I don't have access to the land. Yes, I know I don't have access to the land. But I've got access to this land. Yeah, I know I didn't set my lines up correctly, but I'm not going to worry about it too much. Because they gave us, what, 3 headlands? I'm only really doing this to get over to the other end. And we'll start on the long passes, kind of like we did with the plowing contract. And give me a little bit more room for turning. Because whenever I do these cultivating contracts, I do not raise my implement unless I absolutely have to. I know that goes against standard operating procedure for any implement. You do want to raise it up when you're making turns. It saves on the bearing life. It saves on wear and tear and things like that. That's the field we just plowed. But since I am at the corner, I do raise up and turn. And then drop her back down. Now that we're on the path of the longs, this is going to be, we get to the end, we make a quick U-turn with the implement in the ground and head back the opposite direction. And one of these days I am going to get some royalty free or what's the other term for that? Copyright free music. We'll get that playing in the background, just low, get a little something going when there's and I know people have been talking about that in other streams that I've watched about having music playing in the background for their streams. Some people like it, some don't. I think for a lot of the streamers that I watch, they tend to play it a little too loud. Not all of them. I would not even say half of them. But there are some streamers out there that they play the music a little louder. I just want something low and in the background that you can hear, and I don't have to talk over. And it just provides that little bit of atmosphere so that when I'm not talking, then there's something there other than, yeah, you can hear the tractor noise, and I can definitely bump that up some as well. But I do want my voice to be over top of everything. That's just kind of standard audio practices, especially when you're doing concert venue type stuff. And I don't know how many times I go to a concert and you hear nothing but the music and you can't hear the vocals. That drives me nuts. I can listen to a song on the radio and hear the vocals just fine, then listen to them in concert and the sound engineer has the vocals kind of playing, third fiddle. It's there. You can kind of hear something going on, but the rest of the band, the guitars and the drums, and whatever else that they're playing, are just way overshadowing the vocals. So your vocals should always be at the top of the list for the sound level, and then behind that, we can have the tractor level, the noise of the game itself just below that, and then below that any music. Kind of like if I were to play like Fallout 4 and have the radio stations going. I actually go into my game and adjust the volume to where I have the vocals set first. I have the background stuff, like footsteps, set just below the vocals because I want to hear those as things are going in case somebody's coming up behind you, whatever. And then the game sound itself is going to be below that, and then the music is going to be below that. That's how I set up the audio's levels in my games, and it doesn't matter what game I'm playing. I try to set it up that way. So if I got any sort of music from the game going, that's below everything else, because sometimes they set everything to 100% and everything gets drowned out by the music or the game sound, and you're trying to struggle to hear vocals, and then you throw on the subtitles so that you can listen to the subtitles, if you know what that means. And I do games where I got the subtitles on all the time, because it just seems like the way the game sets itself up, the subtitles are, everybody will throw subtitles on, so we don't need the vocals as high as everything else. To me, that's just not how I do the audio levels in a game. I want the music to, if we do put music in sometime, in the next couple weeks, next couple streams, next couple hours, and I still got research to do. I know there's free apps out there that you can download music onto for doing the stuff, and I don't have to have the most high quality music or the best thumping beats or most popular stuff, but I do want something that's just going to be in the little background, so that when there's lulls in the environment, that I don't have to try to fill it with something. There's already something there that does it. Yeah, it could be the engine sound, but as you can see, I can play here, but you can barely hear the engine of the tractor or any piece of equipment that you're running. You go out here to really get to the sound of the tractor, you got to be up close. Well, then I have a hard time, because growing up on a farm, I need to see my implement. Well, I can't drive like that and see behind me or see in front of me. So I need to be like this, and I want to see my implement, so I'm zoomed out, and therefore the tractor noise is way low. And if I were to bump the audio up so you can hear it at this point, and then when I zoom all the way into the tractor, that's going to be blowing out your eardrums, especially if you're wearing headphones. There's always tweaks that you got to do for any audio leveling in games, in life. your own surround sound systems. Some people are always tweaking on the things, trying to get the perfect balance of bass and treble and things like that. We're not worried about that. I just want a little bit of ambient music going on, so that way, if you can't hear the tractor noise because we're so far away, especially with gigantic pieces of equipment like the spreaders that throw 42 meters out, that will almost take up the entire screen if you're all the way out here. I mean, you got something to listen to other than my voice all the time. Do I have a voice for radio? I don't know. But I do tend to hold my own here for some strange reason, just kind of like when I'm DMing for my couple of Dungeons and Dragon groups that I got going on. Some strange reason I can sit there and talk all day long and monologue as NPCs, the big bad evil guys, or whatever the case may be. Not that I'm the star of the show or want to hear myself talk all the time, but when the time permits and warrants and there's a speech that needs to be made, I can definitely bring one up in the conversation and entertain them as well. There's been times where, in one of the most recent games, one of the players was trying to figure out what was going on with this stolen item. Where did the bad guy run off to? And he cast a little spell called Speak with Plants. And if you know where this is going, he's asking a plant a question, or questions, having a conversation. And me being the DM, I have to portray the plant. Let's just say the table had lots of laughs. They were surprised at how well the player and I were at composing ourselves and not laughing as we're sitting there doing this dialogue between each other. And then when the dialogue was done, that was the end of it for 5 minutes. We had to catch ourselves because it was just one of those hilarious moments. Also one that, in order to get the real gist of it, you had to be there. It's hard to describe it, but if someone's talking to someone else and that someone else is a plant, yeah, just let your imagination roll for that scenario. As I'm sitting here driving this tractor, another thing that popped to my mind was a gentleman called 4B that I watch on a really regular basis, another streamer, 4B Gaming. Go check him out. He's got some cool stuff. But he had a video where he's talking about this eye tracking program. And it's been out there for a while. It's not some newfangled thing, but it's based off the cameras. And if you're in this type of view and you're looking at the camera that's in front of you, if you look to the right, of course your view is going to turn to the right. Well, one of the things that got me thinking about it, where this type of immersion, yes, it is great for some things. But me, myself, growing up on a farm and doing a lot of this exact field work, I sit what's called side saddle. Not sitting fully back in the seat, or if I am, I'm kicked over to one side, so that way I'm kind of looking in this direction here. So I can see in front of me, I can see the green line in front of me where my tractor's pointed. Actually, it would be on this side right here because I want to see the edge of the field work that I'm working. And then I can turn around and look at my whatever piece of implement I have behind me to see if I'm missing anything, if I'm have too much of a gap to where I could put more of the stubble into it to get cloud up, things like that. So it got me thinking, where if I have a setup where I've got, 4 or 6 monitors, like the gigantic 38-inch curved monitors, and I have 4 of them wrapped around me. One in front, one on each side, and then one behind. And I have a camera position at each one of those monitors. How cool would it be to be able to sit in your chair and you rotate your chair to look behind you and the camera just follows? How many, and that was the question I posed to him in the comment on this video, is how many cameras would this program be able to support? 4 cameras would be, I think, the bare minimum, so that you can turn, the cardinal direction, north, south, east, west. But if you have like 5 cameras set up, one directly in front of you, one kind of points of a star, to where you can sit and move in your chair, and you got these 4 or 5 or 6 monitors or whatever it is around you, and you can see the implements, and you use a control, and you look back and you look at the monitor and you can see what's behind you. How cool would that be to get that set up? Would it be feasible? Would it be cost effective? I know the camera that I run for my D&D games, and if I can easily set it up for doing live streams here. I mean, it's a $20 Walmart camera. It's ONN brand. You get 4 or 5 of those, you spend $100. The most expensive portion of this is going to be the monitors. Would they all have to be the exact same monitor? I don't know. Would your GPU have to be able to support those? Most definitely. With the USB technology, USB-C for daisy chaining monitors, you can have, I believe it's up to 3 monitors connected to one USB-C, so that they're all expanded off of each other. So there's definitely ways that you could set up multiple monitors off of a 4-connection GPU, which most GPUs anymore have one USB-C port, one HDMI port, and 2 display ports. So, I mean, you could in theory have 1, 2, 3, 6 monitors hooked up to your computer, as long as your GPU is a very capable GPU. So would it be possible to, on each monitor, have a camera to track your eye movements as you're looking around your vehicle? Get an immersive space setup. Most people have a decent gaming chair that they can rotate, that can raise up and down. So would you be able to rotate 45 degrees and look back at the implement behind you while maintaining a cab view? I think that would be very cool. There's another streamer out there called Cesium that started a game playthrough that he wanted to play for 1 in-game year, doing nothing but in-cab view. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with that type of gameplay. That would be very cool. All I know is he needs to rely on his mirrors. The mirrors are absolutely dreadfully horrible in this game. Because 1, I can't see them. 2, I need to be able to turn fast around me in order to see what's going on. So yeah, using the eye tracking software, I forget what the software was. I'd have to look it up from 4B Gaming's video that he did. But yeah, I think that would just be very cool to be able to set something up like that and do in-cab driving for everything, you know. Yeah, harvesting is going to be different. You're going to have to rely a lot heavily on your actual surroundings, remembering what you're passing, so that way if you back up, you don't run into a tree. Although running into a tree in this game is definitely not the same as running into a tree in real life. You're not going to destroy anything. You're just going to wonder why you stopped and you can't back up any further. And to be able to have that header that, you know, is 35, 45 feet, to be able to look left and right, you're going to be relying heavily on your GPS markers, your GPS lines, which I have no problem doing because, as you can see, I'm using them right now. Yeah, driving in the cab would be absolutely amazing if you're using that eye tracking software to be able to look around fast. And that's one of the things where I think if I go in and change the sensitivity of my viewing, where I can look faster left and right, I think that would help me. I think it'd be cool to be able to. And I did it baling one day, you know, last week. We had that Vermeer baler, that self-driving baler, and I did an entire field sitting in the cab because I didn't have to worry about knowing when the bale was going to empty, when it was full. I relied on the sound of the vehicle, and I thought that went for that part where I didn't have to worry about a piece of implement behind me. I just worried about the line in front of me, the swath that was laid on the ground. I thought that was, to me, I absolutely enjoyed driving that baler around, just using just the in-cab view. And since we're in cab view, let's go ahead and raise the implement and take a look behind us, watch it fold up, clunk clunk, back down. Let's get back onto the road. Let's go ahead and also go to the contract and we will collect on it. And we have another cultivating contract right beside us using a very similar width of cultivator. And I just want to, yeah, we got a different wood transport. We'll go ahead and select that one, and we'll go and do that one as well. Also, let's check. Oh, we got a forage wagon. That was, I think that was a forage wagon. Yes, this one I did have on my list. And it was on the list so that just a different option, because I did not know if the balers could dump a bale into the fermenting silo. I didn't know if it needed to be loose product. But since we have balers and since I have the fermenting silo, I can go ahead and scratch off my bale wrapper. I can scratch off my forage wagon because I don't need those. The forage mixer I do not need because the fermenting silo that I have from, I believe it is Omatana, does everything that I needed to do for my water buffalo. We'll get home. We're still going to run at 5-speed. I've got no issues with 5-speed right now. Excuse me. My main game I run at 1 speed all the time. Unless I'm trying to look for something in the markets, get a production to spit out something, and I don't want to sleep. So I'll run it up to 360 time speed or whatever. And I've been known to do that in this this playthrough as well. Run up to 360, just because I am constantly looking through the markets. But yeah, it seems like this one, for some reason, 5-speed seems to work out really well. I'm trying to slow down on contracts. If I was doing heavily contract game right now, which, as you can see, all I'm doing is kind of cultivating some plowings. I'm not doing any harvesting. If I was doing a harvesting contract, then I would definitely bump that down to 1 speed. Oh look, we got more lumber. Field 12, and this field's going to go fairly quick. This was the first field that, if I remember correctly, I was supposed to plant, or tried to plant, and I forgot to change the seed setting on my seeder. And I got down to the tree there, realized that, and I was like, crap, stopped, changed the seed type, and in order to do that, and because you started in the field, I could have went back and cultivated, and I was just like, what the heck with it. I wasn't out any money really. So I just canceled the contract. And it's one of those that if I'm doing a seeding contract or a planting contract, and I've even caught it on myself where I have the wrong seed selected. Yeah, it makes for a not fun day. In this one, because we got the river in front of us, and that is a river. Yes, we can drive through it. I prefer not to drive through it while trying to turn around. I'm going to try to avoid it at all costs. I'm going to maintain an overhead view. And if I have to do one strip of headland up here, then I will run one strip of headland on the way back. When I get to the opposite end, I'll just zip down this way and get it. The other end, we got the road that we can go into, so that's going to be no big deal. And we're at home, and when we're done with this contract, we'll go ahead and skip to the next day. And then when I get to the next day, I'm going to change the days to 2. Because I want to maintain the 3 for this month. Because all of the contracts right now that they've scheduled for the month are broken up into the 3 days. So if I were to do that, I don't know how well the game would react. So for this month at least, we're staying on 3 days, and then, which technically we started in August, always. So when we go to September and drop it down to 2 days, I think that's absolutely fine. It kind of works well for the playthrough. And we'll stream for about another half an hour to an hour, somewhere in there. Kind of want to end around 10:30. It just depends on what we're doing in the game. There's always something that we can be doing. It just depends on if I want to end it at that time, in the middle of a contract or at the end of a contract, before we start a contract. The game kind of dictates when good ending points are. Yeah, I know we can end whenever. This is just a game. We can pause it and stop it and save it and things like that. I know there's other games out there that you can't save until the match is done. Usually the live, Call of Duty type stuff. But yeah. We'll sit here. I know we'll get this contract done in, 10 minutes or so. We should be done by, in 15, I'm going to say, because we're already 30% done with the contract. We've only been in this for just a minute or two. And these are the contracts that I like because we're working at 11 miles an hour. We're going super fast. I don't have to worry about starting and stopping and backing up the vehicle and implements and things. I can just make my turn and we go. And since they are contracts, I don't have to worry about absolute 100% coverage of the field. As long as the contract says 100%, there's always going to be remaining left that you will never do. That's why I'm not particular on making sure that these are 100% perfect, and neither should you. The first time I was doing these types of contracts, I'm sitting there trying to get every square morsel out of this, and then the contract ends and you get upset. Why can't you complete these things and blah blah blah? And it's like, what? It's a game. Don't get upset over how the game designer set it up, because they want to make sure that if you had to get 100% of the field 100% of the time, you miss one little speck somewhere and the game gets stuck at 99% and you can't find that little speck that you missed, especially like on a weeding contract in a freshly planted field. You're never you can sit there and spin circles for an hour trying to find that last 1%, and are you ever going to find it? Possibly. Are you going to have to go over the field 2, 3, 4 times? Possibly. So that's why, in my opinion, this is just me playing the game and learning the nuances of it. That's why the game developers set it up to where you don't have to complete the entire field. You can miss spots of it and still get the 100% completion for the contract. That's not to say on your own fields, like my 2 over there, grass is a little different, but oats, if I were to go through and plant that one, which we will be doing here in September, I'm going to plant that to either wheat or barley, because I do have an idea for what we're going to do. It involves continuing on with the field that the water buffalo are set up in. It involves maybe a new mod. But when I do the contract, or not the contracts, when I'm doing my fields for planting, I'm definitely going to make sure I get the 100% every spec done. It bugs me to see someone do a fertilizing on their own field and they got spots missed for here and there and everywhere, little tiny things. It's like, come on, it's not that hard to get 100%. Yeah, you may waste a little bit more product, especially fertilizer, trying to get the 100%. But if you're planting, any sort of row crop or any sort of grain, when you go over an area that's already planted, you're not going to be injecting any additional seeds into the ground. The fertilizer, on the other hand, you will be. But the seeds, no. The seeds will stop. So yeah, when I'm doing these contracts, I don't care, if I leave a little strip there, it's not my field, not my problem. Just kind of like I, got a little bits left there. That's why I don't worry about headlands unless, I'm looking for that last 1%, and I leave an entire strip at a headland for some reason. Like, this end here, I'm probably going to have to pick up some of it. We'll find out when we get done. And we're already halfway done, and we've been going for 6-7 minutes. So yeah, I got these little strips here. That's why I only do one headland, because if it was AI, they'd set you up for 2 or 3. I think this was originally set up on 3. a little bit overkill. Even growing up on a farm and doing the field work like this, 2 headlands was all we ever did on any piece of equipment, because you can still back up your tractor and your cultivator or your planter, and you can get it to where you can get down to 1 headland, just, and the headland is considered just the if you're going straight on this, it's the north and south. That's the headlands. It's not considered the sides. It's the ends of the field. That's why they're heads. Just kind of like when I started this contract, I started on one end, one edge of the field. I didn't worry about the technical headland for it, because you always, if you're starting on a planting session, you start at one edge of the field and you go straight down. Then just keep making your passes back, and then when you get done doing all the backs and forths, the ups and downs, the side to sides, whatever they want to call it in the game. Then when you get to the one end and you got one pass left, then you do a down and back on that headland. You come back, you finish the strip back, and then you do the down and back there. And if you played your cards right, the very end of the field is where you need to exit. That's where you would exit your field when you stopped. So farmers are always playing that game of where to enter the field and where to exit the field and things like that. And that's why this map is so nice, and Riverbend Springs is so nice. It's wide open for where you can enter and where you can exit, versus going into other maps, say Riverview. They got hedgerows along the entire field, and there's only one area that you can enter a field, and some of those areas make absolutely no sense. You would think that every road would have an opening to enter a field, and it's not that way. And why? And the one guy I watch for that, he's playing on Riverbend, he complains about that. And the map designer mod maker was actually in his stream watching, and he's like, grab a chainsaw and cut an opening in the hedge, because you can do that. And the guy's like, well, I don't want to mess with the aesthetics. And he's like, no, I designed it that way to where, yes, I put openings here. Yeah, some of them may not make sense, to you. They made sense to me. If you don't like it, cut a hole in it. Grab your chainsaw. You didn't need to, as long as you owned the field, you didn't need to have the lumberjack mod in order to cut an opening. From what I understood, maybe you did need the lumberjack mod to do that. I'm not exactly sure, but yeah. And everybody in the comment section on his live stream was kind of laughing and joking with that, and even the streamer was having a good time with it, just bantering back and forth with him and everybody else in the comments. That's the great thing about this game. You can sit there and play it however you want. You can merge all of these fields together to make one gigantic super field on the south of the river. You can use your as long as you own the fields, you can sit there and even plow a road in. Have AI traffic driving through your fields because there used to be a road there, and things like that. Just like I'm sitting over there clear cutting a section of land, to make it my farm property. And a lot of people, when they take on their Riverbend Springs, they go through and wipe out the entire starting farm location of all the buildings and things like that, and make one gigantic super structure for all of their pieces of gear and such. And I've done that, and I've seen so many other people do that, and I've clear cut the entire area and replanted trees and this, that, and whatever else you want to think of. And I've made farmland into cattle pastures, and everybody has a way to play the game, and this game is great for that exact purpose. It's an open world map, even though it feels confined. You're working in this space here, but the sky is the limit on what you want to do in there and how you want to play the game. Just like some people love doing the root vegetables, and I've got a map that I've got all of that, and then I've got another map that is all forestry, even though it's on Riverbend Springs, and I'm clear cutting the entire area in the southeast corner, and I'm buying the fields, the big fields down in that area, and I'm turning them into poplar, and I'm turning them into grassland, and the grassland is the base for my my lumber trees that I'm planting to grow from scratch, And I'm not going to worry about that little strip. Some people start off and they do nothing but silage productions. They buy a grass field or buy a field for cheap and turn it into grassland, and they make silage on it, and they sell the silage at the animal dealer, or they buy a modded BGA and they take the silage there to make energy. The residual income coming in. Or the greenhouses. People start off with greenhouses, and they start off with lettuce productions, and they build 2, 3, 4 greenhouses, and they all produce nothing but lettuce. And there's so many ways to play the game. And trying not to, this playthrough, I didn't want the starting farm. The location's cool, but I didn't want to be that confined. And even the sheep land that I bought and the house that's there, yes, it's wide open. Will I move any pieces of equipment there? Probably not. Because this is my area over here. That's just an area up there where I have my goats. That's it. And then I bought a piece of land and I put water buffalo on it. And I put a barn for it. And that same piece of land is going to be improved with another structure, or 2 or 3, or 4. Maybe it'll be the next field over that I decide to convert into, nothing but productions and no greenhouses, but I'll still have 2 dairy productions, and with the dairy productions, making the milk, maybe I start getting into sugar cane, to make sugar so I can make chocolate and make chocolate cakes, or something like that. Whatever. The sky's the limit. Your imagination can only take you so far as you let it take you. I sure hope I get to harvest this field of sorghum. Still got the month of September to do. I've got my grass field that'll take me a half an hour to do. Sit there and mow it, and then rake it, and then bale it, and then take the bales and put them into the fermenter and make, because I definitely need some hay, so I need to get that going. Because how much hay do I have? I've got 12,000 liters of hay. That's not too bad. That's enough to get me going. I've still got quite a few bales of grass. Yep, looks like I will have to take the last headland out up here, which I figured. I just wanted to finish off the field first. This is the end that I did most of the leave little bits here and there and everywhere. A lot of it was because of this river, or this stream. It's not a river. To me, it's a creek. It's a small thing that you can go wading in. Some streams are deeper. Some streams, I don't see no fish. It's a creek, in my opinion. But yeah, I figured I would have to come back and do this section. The south headland was pretty well taken care of. '97, '98. Don't have access to the land anymore, which is good. Little bits and pieces missing. That's A-OK. If I own that section of land there and the next one over, I would plow them both up. Right now. If I own that section of land there, I would plow it up. Right now. Because one is carrots, one is parsnips. Or one is red beets and one is parsnips. I think that field to our right is parsnips. Okay, so let's go ahead and sugar beets. Nope. Sugar cane. I know there's no cane on here. Red beets. Carrots. Parsnips. Green beans. Peas. Spinach. So what is that one? Oh, potatoes. Forgot about the taters. Oh, 13 and 14. So 14 is green beans, the one that we just passed. 13 is parsnips, yep. 2 vegetables that I do not want to do on this map. I do enough vegetables on my main game. I don't need to do vegetables here. I am going to move this because I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to move my harvester here tomorrow morning. And then we'll also work on expanding the property. I've got a lot of trees cleared out. Okay, we got one bag there. That's absolutely fine. Got my JCB. We can leave that there. We should be good on this one for wood. We're at 11. This one should be around 8. Tomorrow morning we'll hit and we'll be around 4,000. We'll have to put some wood in it tomorrow sometime. Look at the contracts again. Let's go ahead and collect that cultivating. Got a stone picking spraying. Okay, let's go ahead and next day it. And look at that, it's 2:04. Spent a couple of minutes dinking around, looking at the map. That took us about 15 minutes to do. Alright, so. Oh, lordy. Lordy. I'm taking a look at that. Oh, lordy. It's an auger wagon. Hooks up to a fifth wheel plate for a semi. Don't care. That would be nice. That would be real nice. Could I get $140,000 in one day for it? I'm going to pass. The reason being is if we go up here to the large tractors, that is $351,000 for the AFS Connect series. It's 41% off. It's got 8 hours on it. we could get either one of these two here, or even that guy, and nothing really below, and maybe a the oddball class, or maybe a JCB if that were to show up. But its horsepower only goes to 400. $396, 415, 415. That goes to 300. Why that is classified as a large tractor when it's definitely in the medium category for horsepower range is beyond me. But I'm not the modder that designed that, so I just need to keep my opinion to myself, I guess. Even these two John Deeres here, the 7R and the 8R, these two, I mean, 125,000 if it was half price, 40,000. Those two would be great. That would be 150,000. That would be 160,000. It would be nice to get one of those, but 204,000 when I'm waiting on money to do things. And I probably got $20,000 there. If I were to sell all my firewood, I would have a bunch of money there. It's on August 3rd. Let's go ahead and, like I said before, let's go into our settings and let's change to 2 days. That way the month of September hits and we'll be off and running on a 2-day month. Let's check our contracts. Okay, we got that one there. We got that one there. We can do a sewing contract on 12, which we just got done with. I want to take a look at the rest of the contracts to see. And okay, so we could do a sewing contract. We could borrow that equipment. We do have, and that's the Vultra. That could be a medium Vultra. I want to see what sewing they're going to be doing with it. That's the Coon. I'm running a Bednar. And that's 6 meter, that's 6 meter. I believe that's the Coon. Could be the Horse here. Either way, I mean, not that it matters. That's a Horse. Yeah, that's this guy here. That's this Horse. It's a mod. 200 horsepower. They're running, this Vultra here, this T series, I believe. I mean, they could have, the Q series. The color showed the S series. Why they needed something that high horsepower, I don't know. But yeah, I think we're going to go ahead and take that. They want it planted to canola, which would be fine. We have the seed. Which then we could do it ourselves, and I can take this wood contract. Because I would rather save money. Let's go ahead and get that. And don't needs to worry about that. I want to look at cedar. My Bednar requires 240. I'm going to have to hook the Fent up to it, which is fine. And then as soon as I get into it, I need to change it to canola. And I'm going to empty the fertilizer out, because I do not want to be using my fertilizer on this. And we're going to change to canola. And possibility I may have to buy seed for this. So let's go ahead and we are going to unload. That loaded up behind us, and I'm going to just out of, and we'll move this because I do not want to load up the fertilizer. So let's go ahead and back up. And this bednar is a little different. I was trying to figure out. Let's open cover. I need to unfold the tool, and this is the thing about the bednar. You need to unfold the tool. So now I can refill my seeder with the canola, and I do not think I have any more seeds over here. Nope. Okay, so we will go ahead and get in this guy, and I'm just going to leave it unfolded. It ain't going to hurt nothing for us. We are set up on canola. We will go and buy a pallet of seeds because I will need a pallet of seeds. And saving the money, the pallet of seeds is going to cost us a little bit. And let's go ahead and get this going. We will jump out and I'll put my fertilizer over where my fertilizer is. The old trusty lizard, the dragon, and we'll go buy a pallet of seeds. And I can't remember if I have anything over there at the store or not. It's been a little bit. It'll take us a minute to get over there. We got AI doing the thing. So when it comes to seeding and planting, even on the main game, I let the AI workers do all the stuff, and I run support, because then I would have, I would do the cultivating, and then I would go in and do a fertilizing, and then I would go in and do the seeding, or whatever. And I run support for all of that, making sure that all the implements have the fertilizer, the lime, the seeds, and whatever it is that they need. And I would do something else, I would jump in a tractor and, whatever it is. So we're at the store. I do not see any pallets here of mine. So we will go ahead and pick up, and this is the cheapest option. Yes, you can buy a bag for $1,000. You get an extra 50 liters of seed for the same price. So we'll go ahead and buy a pallet. And the nice thing is, because it's a pallet of seeds, I don't have to worry about it opening up over top of my truck here to, twang, that's not going nowhere, to do I want to do? No, I'm going to hold off. I was going to do extended box on this, but I'm going to hold off for a little bit. We've got things I want to do. This is at the low priority. In fact, I do need to check on the water buffalo to see how much food they got. They got plenty. They got 8,000 liters. getting in that habit from watching another guy. Oh yeah, they got just plenty, and they got like 3,000 liters of food, or got 5,000 liters of wood in their sawmill. It's like, yeah, that's good enough for now. But yeah, I'm gonna hold off on that. I'll sit there and go and get a couple of loads of silage and go put it in the barn for the buffalo. Like I said, I'll get that wood contract done as well. And then next month I got to do my mowing, and then because that Bednar is a direct driller for seeding, I should have made the left turn there, but oh well. And I ran into my building. Oh well. I don't have to worry about cultivating my land. And because it's on... No, I ain't doing that. I'm just going to go ahead and leave. Actually going to... Because I want to get it filled up right away. Oh! I did something here. Okay, mouse, come in. Nope, I did turn it back off. I did turn it back off. Okay. So, I'm going to go ahead and park right here. And I'm going to let AI run into me. And I'm going to jump in there. And I'm going to load up the seeder. In fact, we'll just do it right before he gets started. And then oh, gosh darn it. Darn it. Darn it. Oh, God, that was stupid. Refill truck. Well, he's got 1,000 in there. That'll be, should be more than enough to, I'm just gonna go ahead and exit. God dang it. Oh, that chaps me wrong. Alright, live and learn, and then get loves. That's the downfall about having a truck that its bed operates as a box, because it will unload things into the box when you don't want it to. But I have a way around this. The easiest way is to come over here and we unload it. This action cannot be performed here. What are you talking about? Oh, for gosh sakes. All right, let's do this. I'll be able to do it this way. Okay. So let's tip side back. Let's go ahead and back up just a skosh. And let's go ahead and why I want to unload here. Seeds are not accepted here. Can't even unload there. Oh my gosh. And there's the save. Oh. Okay, let's try that. Got to be smarter than the implement that you're working on by 1%. Okay, so let's go ahead and tip side right. Let's go ahead and get some silage loaded up, because I would rather have it, the Bednar load up from the silo than trying to do it from the tractor anyway. Alright, let's go ahead and get this done. Let's get the barn loaded up on food. Yeah, I think I actually may have some additional seeds in there from another issue like that, or maybe it was fertilizer, I forget what it was. Look at all the beautiful water buffalo. While we're here, I'm going to come to over here and so yeah, this is about a 50,000 liter storage capacity on food. Just turn that blinker off. I don't need that ruining my life right now. See, and this is where a bridge right here, you know, somewhere on this side would come in handy. Not that it's that big of a deal to come over here. Or even to drive down that way to right here. Whee! And stop. 3,500 at a time. Good thing this is quick. But if I had the sides put up, then it'd be a 7,000 plus a time. It's almost like when you buy the smallest water tanker for filling up the largest canopy style greenhouse the first time you ever do it. So you're dealing with 2,000 liters at a time in a 40,000 liter capacity greenhouse. trip after trip after trip. Let's just go ahead and drive this way. Just to speed things up a little bit, because I do like coming into the building from that side, far side. Yeah, all about the stinking tension straps. Really forgot about that. And this is where having a double bridge instead of a single path would make things go just a little bit smoother trying to get onto the bridge. And we'll put some on the other side. And we're sitting at maybe about 18, 19,000 here. And I've got plenty of TMR. 18.5. And over time I will square that away. Like I said, do a little bit of a landscaping there on the edge, put some tall grass or something there. And just out of curiosity, yeah, I'm not even close to touching the TMR capacity limit of 2,000 liters out of that fermenter. The digestate, which if we were to put water in here, but we don't have a tanker, then when we ferment the silage, we can get digestate out of it as well. And I don't have any straw, so that's fine. I mean, I've got plenty of that sitting in storage over yonder. I've got a lot of straw, a lot of grass, a lot of hay. Well, a lot of straw and a lot of grass, no hay, because I don't have a tedder. But the grass I can make hay out of. And the goats will eat nothing but grass or hay. So that's... And I need to check on my goats as well. But they've got the meadow. So they can get 100% on that. And I'm just stockpiling grass over there and we'll harvest that here in September. Stay on the road here for this one. We'll harvest that along with this field, so I can get 13 plus an additional, what was it, like 6 or 7 bales, over 5 bales. So we'll get 18 bales at a time. I may buy another grass field coming up, but I've got different plans here. But those plans actually, won't really happen until next July, in all reality. Actually no, because I was hoping for more sorghum contracts just for that purpose. Right now I am sitting with, I'll go back up here. Go to sorghum. I got 5,000 liters of sorghum. So like I said, I was hoping for more contracts of the sorghum variety for harvesting. Maybe they'll show up tomorrow night. 45% on that field. And we should be fairly well stocked on seed in there. As soon as it gets done in that field, I'll bring them back over and we'll get the seed loaded up out of the silo. And the water buffalo are sitting at, oh, we just crossed the 50% mark, so yeah, about 50,000 liters of food here, which is going to be, once this barn is set up with the 60 head of buffalo in here, I think the 50,000 liters is going to last a good solid 2 months. I don't think they'll eat more than that in any given month. 25,000 liters seems a little excessive for 60 head, considering on my main game I'm running almost double of that of beef cattle, dairy cattle, and buffalo together. And I think that barn holds 35,000 liters, and I fill that up I top it off every month. I keep it topped off. But even for the amount of heads eating on that, it's not that much that they go through. I think we'll be good with this load here. Yeah, we're sitting at 32,000. I am quite happy with that amount of TMR put into the production. And it's going to take a few months really for the water buffalo to start getting the milk. I mean, we got 250 liters. Considering that we built this on the 1st of August, it's only August 3rd, 250 liters. Okay. That's not bad. Tractor's on. Kill the tractor. And we'll zip over here. He's got 989 liters, and he started off, a little over 1,000. He's doing the headland right now. Let's go ahead and let's do the one more contract. And I just wish the sorghum would show up. Okay, we gotta go. Okay, go by Koki Express and then down to Firewood. I don't like reading on the map where they go. I like looking at the locations. And I'm going to cut the corner. So one of the quickest spots to go and then unload at. And that's the weird thing, having the firewood production. There's really only 2 spots on the map that you take wood to for these wood transport contracts. One is the carpenter, and the other is the sawmill, which is east of town. And there's nothing wrong with either one of those 2 places. But to have the firewood location, or if you had the sawmill with the Woodmiser T15, whatever it is, those 2 locations, and especially on my main game where I have that the middle sawmill, which is what it is, the base game sawmill. It's the middle one. Medium production. You end up taking stuff there a lot, and I've got no issues with that. But it's just weird that the game would have you take stuff to your own production sites to offload. Not that there's anything wrong with it. It's just strange, you know. That's all I'm getting at. It's just strange. Big batch. We'll leave the two lone wolves there until the very end. And this one's got a good grapple on it, but the outriggers are a little iffy. The grapples are fairly solid. But as you can see, I'm tipping like crazy, even sitting behind or beside the truck. And that's why I truly believe that Giants has built the game to where, you know, you can have trucks of varying degrees of power usage, and each one will have varying degrees of different problems, even though it shows it's got 100% maintenance on it. And especially these types of trucks. One, the crane grapple won't grapple anything. Another, the outriggers won't work properly. They tend to be iffy. Another one, the steering is horrible. And then you get other ones that have a combination of the three problems. And it varies from anywhere from 30 hours up to 60, 70 hours. I think they built that mechanic in the game just to mess with people. Get somebody proficient at doing these wood transport jobs, and then all of a sudden they get a truck that they absolutely can't drive or can't use because something wonky's happening with it, so you got to compensate. And you got to, instead of taking 3 logs, you got to take 2 because the grapple doesn't work, or it gets so side heavy that you got to drop the amount of logs that you grab, and then the logs stick to each other and do weird things, so where you should be grabbing 3 logs, you're grabbing 5. Just weird things. But yeah, I do believe that they've got it coded to where the base game implements, like this for doing these jobs are definitely have some quirks to them, and it could be with all the tractors too. It could be with all the cultivators and such. Whether or not there's any issues that you can find on those cultivators, I don't know. It's just speculation. Let's go ahead and we'll take this road, because this road's a little bit more friendly for... Don't have to drive on that bridge. Nothing wrong with the bridge, mind you. It's just that this road's easier to get onto than coming off onto this bridge. A little bit wider, a little bit easier turning. Here, turn in, make sure to unstrap, drop it, and there's a half dozen stuck. Of course, a horse is a horse, of course, of course. We're at 69%. Harvesting. Just checking for the sorghum contracts. And there are none. And we're already up to 11 a.m. I do need to reload that one. I'll grab a tree and put in there. That one's going to be too much. These Japanese Zolonkas are going to be too little. I'm going to gotta chop down a lot. I was like, what the heck's that red thing there? Just a tree, just a bush. Yeah, let's just go ahead and take this one down. Trying to get that contract finished up, and then I think we'll end it for the day. Which will give me time to get this tree cut. And do a little bit of quick landscaping back here to extend our yard. Our parking space. And these trees like to stand. This wood grain structure is very weird. Yeah, I need this pottinger to show up in the market, and that would be amazing. No, I didn't want to grab it, but we grabbed it. I would love the winged pottingers to show up. Because it's a $70,000 implement, $35,000 would be great. I was going to say, you better fall. Okay, let's go ahead and lop that off. And we're down to 5,000, so we can put 8,000 in there comfortably. Will you take? Yes, you will. And you took that one, and you're sitting at 13,999. Okay. Let's see if you can go into the other one. And that is a big negative, that dude. Go ahead and mop these off here. Just trying to cut as little off as possible to get it to accept. There we go. And that one will not go in. We're up to 13.8. Let's grab this guy here. That should go in just fine. Okay. Let's take these over to the firewood. The firewood we're fairly good on. Shouldn't have to put any more to it. We're at 92. Yep, we'll just put these two chunks of tree in there and call it a day for that. Then we got all of our wood production full for the month. We're at 85%. That's looking good. Just a few more minutes. I'm going to come and empty out the firewood production. Okay, so we're at 93. Jump in the JCB, hook up to our trailer, and we're going to go ahead and drop off our bucket. Front end loader, we're just going to put it right beside the place here. Disconnect. Looks like it was built for that spot. Alright. Okay, let's try to get in straight this time. Should probably go to the other side, but I prefer this one because of the way the cell point is set up. Okay, let's go ahead and load her up. And we got 8. We don't have to, they're strapped down. Okay. And then I've got to be careful because contract complete. Okay, so we're sitting at 142, 250. All right, we're doing good. We're doing good on storage. Although the majority of it is firewood. Nothing wrong with that. Okay. Let's go to the Bednar. And we'll load that up. Fold that up. Drive over top of this carrot field. Or parsnip field. One of the two fields. I don't care. And we'll see if we can load this up with the rest of the seeds. And then direct drilling is going to take care of those, or plowing. See if we can get this filled up with seed. Okay, let's go ahead and unfold. We'll come at it from a different angle. Just gotta find a big enough spot to turn here. And let's go ahead and open the top. Should be able to do this. Should being the optimum word, but how many liters of seed do I got in here? $418 liters of seed, and I can't even put and trying to get that. Oh wait, let's do this. Because now that the lid's open, maybe I can get close enough now to refill. That's just a downfall with this Bednar. It's funky for trying to get loaded up. Oh, 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 oh. Start filling. There we go. Seeds. Yes. Alright. Start filling. I thought I had fertilizer in there. Okay, let's jump out and take a look. I do have fertilizer in there. Why is it not wanting to do fertilizer? Did I need to go forward further? There we go. I finally got my fertilizer and seeds out of here. Okay. Okay, I'm a happy camper now. Let's go ahead and open that up, and I just want to close the lids. And then we'll fold her back up. Squirrely. Squirrely. I cannot drive straight. I never said I was a good driver. I just said I could drive. Okay. Disconnect. Kill it. And it's 11:55. Let's check. Yeah, I mean, there's no way I can get to the get to that. Let's go ahead and collect that contract real quick. And just double check the harvestings. Now the wood transport, I mean, not too worried about that. We got some more planks. We've got a couple more things inside, planks and wood beams. Not going to worry about unloading that right now. I don't remember feeding Romeo this morning. So, another productive day on the farm. We got in the distance just our new to us buffalo barn. And that's going to be the name of it. It's going to be the buffalo barn. And we got Romeo coming in to get some food. Apparently he didn't catch a rabbit today, so he's a little on the hungry side. But yeah, we are currently waiting on any sort of harvesting contract we can do, especially for sorghum, for the evil intentions that I have, and we can take care of this contract too. I don't want to. I only want to cut the wood down that's on my property and be done with it. I will transport wood for other people to do things, but until then, it's just going to be our property. Even the landscaping, that's going to have to wait. But at the end of the day, tonight, when it'll probably be tomorrow morning when I wake up, personally, may come into the game and do some selling, advance some time, see if we can get some sorghum contracts to come up. Might sell the stack of lumber that we have sitting over in the corner there. But yeah, I do appreciate every single one of you that come into the stream, that hit the like buttons, that are tempted to hit the subscribe. I hope I can keep you entertained, at least for a little while, as you view, giving my thoughts and inputs and personal gameplay into the stream. And we got the glitching bridge. That is amazing. I love it. So go ahead and hit all the standard stuff on YouTube that you want to do. No forcing, no coercing. Just you be you and I be me, and we all play this wonderful game called Farming Sim. Again, I do thank you all, and until then, we will catch you later.